de boodschap is, je gaat er nog niet zitten. Dus je moet over die week, dat is bij over die. En zo heb je iets anders dan de die. Ja, maar nee, die oude dingen aan week zijn we niet te zoeken met dat. Gaan we bouwen.
the wrong stream key, mine. Tomorrow morning stream key.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm live. There's nothing like. Oops.
I went to go look at mine now.
Yeah. See, this is my mini HDMI.
This is like a converter cable.
Yeah. It's people around here that talk. I just want to go over here and see it's all for good and see it's good and go outside.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, teams, please pay attention. We will be starting the robot games for round 1 at 11:50. At 22, so 11:40, the teams need to be in a line-up area. So, Cyberbots Mexico, table A. Beast Walkers South Africa, table B. Honduras Eagles, Honduras, table C. Hyper, Vietnam, table D. Virtuoso Pickering, South Africa, table E. Sea Trotters, United Arab Emirates, table F. South Africa, table G.
Done with all of your signs on now.
Sorry?
Done with all of your stuff.
Oh, I hope so. They must not just
So
carry
you
on
are
now.
ready for your time. So you need to be in your lineup area in about 5 minutes. Cyberbots, East Morphers, Hondas, Alphigas, Hyper, Virtuoso Vigorous, Sea Trotters, XP Stars, DSK Dust.
Oh, good. All right, 100%. Is it just permanently on? No. I just wanted to know, like, they can hear me if I'm speaking like now. Oh, okay. All right, hi everybody. I'm Laura, and I am presenting here from the first Open Africa Championships held in Cape Town in May. This is the second competition on the African continent on international scale. Previous one was in 2015. We're waiting for teams to line up in order to start their first round. This is the first official round that they have. If you're looking at the board right now, just team can touch them. If they are on the playing field, so that's anywhere that is not in that quarter circle, then the robot needs to complete missions there on its own, and teams cannot touch it without getting a penalty. The missions on this board are fairly simple. Each have different points attached to them, and the robot needs to complete different things for each mission in order to get points. The total points that you can get for this game is 620. Our highest score currently from a practice round that we had was 595, so pretty close to the full score that they can get. We'll see if the teams manage to get 620 today. We've got quite a number of teams. In total there's about 86 teams that are competing. You're looking at two tables out of the 8 tables that are being played on. These 2 tables are table E and F, and as we go along we will present, or we will say the team name, and we will try to give some commentary about what is happening. Robots are scored at the end of each game, with the referees being there. There are 2 refs per table, and yeah, the points are up to 620, and if a mission if you do a complete a mission and the points get changed during the game by your robot, unfortunately then it doesn't count, they only count it at the end. Oh, is it this one? Let me just change the...
I like this.
They definitely, all the teams are very excited to be here, which is really nice. And a lot of the teams are making friendships, which is really good. That's the most important thing with any international competition, is that the teams actually interact with people that aren't in their country. And that I've seen a lot of, which is really nice. I'm assuming your first time being at something like this? Definitely not your last, I can guarantee you that. Yeah, it definitely is very exciting, and yeah, I think a few teams are a bit stressed, I can tell you that, because robots don't always behave the way they should in competitions like this.
But what can you do in the situation if you're not supposed to? Is there anything you can do?
So it all depends. A lot of the time they either try and just run the mission again, or they plug wires out and plug them back in. But there's actually not a lot you can do. If the robot just freezes, then we had that at one of our competitions. The robot just froze. Kind of have to reset it, but there's not enough time to reset it. So yeah, that's what makes it difficult. But that happens very little, and sometimes robots just unhook, but then the next round usually goes better. That's why there are 3 rounds, so their base round counts, which is a good thing. Yeah, just the base round, not like an average of all of them, so that makes it good. Yeah.
That's really fair.
Yeah, it's a lot more fair. Otherwise, your teams they don't get points if you do average, because some of our rounds when we competed with zeros, and then the last round was now all our points because the robot just didn't work properly. So yeah, it's good to have the average or the highest scoring one count.
So, but it's still around of the same.
Yes, yeah. So this challenge came out last year, August. They are actually now still competing on that same challenge, and each time they just improve robots between competitions. So from regionals to nationals they improve, nationals to internationals they've now improved. Some of them have been changing things here. If they want to, they can. Everything to make the robot just a little bit better, fine tweaking everything, and yeah. So it's good.
But what type of code does it require at the back end to actually change your robot?
So it all depends if the robot is like if there's something mechanically wrong with it or something like in terms of the programming. So the program is Scratch. I don't know if you know Scratch, but that's the programming language that they use, and so you can change that anyway. You just need your laptop and then you download the new program onto the robot, either with Bluetooth or cable. So it's almost immediate that you can download the new program. If it's something mechanical that you need to rebuild, most of the teams bring their sets along with them, and then if they need to quickly change something, then they can. But it's usually something small that just needs a bit of a change. The robots also sometimes have sensors on them, and sometimes the sensors don't work so well. So in other competitions they have white light on the table. So if you look at like lines, those black lines and the white lines, so robots have color sensors, and then they can line up on those lines on the black or white. So that's where a lot of the team's problems come in, is with the light, because sometimes the lights, because these lights are quite high up, not directly on the table, so that light is then messes sometimes with the sensor. So they might need to program the robot just to calibrate the light sensors to actually know that that's white and that's black. Yeah. And then they have the gyro sensors with like the turning, they need to calibrate those, so sometimes those just unhook, and then their brains aren't all together there, but that's why you program it a little bit. Yes.
Well, all your lower things are neat.
Yeah, you
Because sometimes you'll see it will fall off the page. especially South Africa. So then I just put SA in brackets.
Okay. So just shorten it. If you don't
I competed in this, yeah. From, when was it? I was grade 5, so that was 10. Yeah. 10, because this range is between 9 and 16 is what you can compete here. So I competed from 10. Actually, till I was 18 because our competition that we had, I was 16 still when it was released. So, it was 17 when I was finished. Because they went to internationals that year, and you're still technically part of the previous season, so you can then still compete till 17. So yeah,
So obviously this teaches the children a lot of things in terms of like the program.
Yes.
But how does that come to play in real life?
In real life. So a lot of this teaches just basic principles of engineering, and then that will inspire some learners or some team members to go into engineering, some into programming, because it's a basic introduction to your programming languages in a simple way that you can actually grasp the concepts. And even it's not that they go into like an engineering field, it still can help with just basic processes and actually problem solving. Problem solving you need in every field of work that you are going to be in. So that's the good thing about this. This also teaches teamwork, which is like one of those skills that are invaluable in the workplace. And yeah.
Sorry, so it comes good. She sounds good, the other one's too loud.
This one's too loud.
This is the other one. She's not on.
So yeah, no, it's a good program, and especially the kids start young at like 9. They actually build up till 16, and then this is not as daunting as a piece of metal that you have to cut, and it's Lego. You can break it down, you can build it up again, you can change your ideas. So it's also to build creativity. We've done quite a few workshops as well, now being out of teams, and that's where you realize learners can't always build like from a picture. They can't.
Sorry, I
replicate.
didn't interrupt. The sheet table 3.
Yes, you're on.
Table 4.
Table 3 has got no sound.
Sounds approaching. That was on table 4.
But the table 3 has got no sound. Sorry, go.
No problem.
Sorry, it comes through now.
All right, everybody.
Press anything.
We are about to start the official rounds in 5 minutes. So, I hope you all rested.
That was fine. I
Hope
could
you
hear
prepared well.
maybe the
Again,
soft
we
voice
are
again
about
now.
to start. Let me announce you the first teams that are going for the official rounds. On table A, the Cyberbots from Mexico.
All right, we're about to start with our round 1 here at the Open Africa Championships on table 4. So that's table G and H. The teams that we have with us today as first round is SP Stars and DSK Dussies. Both of these teams are from South Africa, so representing the home country, which we like to see. So they're busy bringing their robots to the table to set up. They have 2 minutes to make sure that everything is correct and time to set up their robots and put all the attachments in their base because they get points for that. They get 20 points if all of their rods and attachments fit into the one base. One base, like I said earlier, is one of those quarter circles. There's a red and a blue one. That's just colors that they have. It's not of insignificance. So as you can see, teams are busy setting up. We have 2 referees per table. They are in the volunteer shirt and they will be scoring the robot at the end of each game. Each game lasts 2.5 minutes. It will be set off when all the teams are ready. So there's 8 teams competing at once. And when the 2.5 minutes are finished, then their timer goes off and they have to not touch the robots. Then the robot will be scored.
Agree that your coach are amazing. So go and nominate them for the Coaches Award.
There's quite a number of teams here today. There's about 86 teams that we have competing from right across the world. We've got from Mexico, South Africa, Belgium, Romania, Norway, Germany, Greece. There's many countries that are represented today.
Official rounds about to start. It's very important that we stay on schedule, so prepare very well.
As you can see, some teams have quite big attachments. All the attachments must just be under 30 centimeters. That is the height limit, and it must fit in with base in order to be legal for the game. So the team on the right is the DSK Dussies, and then on the left is SB Stars. We hope they can get some points on the board today. Robots do sometimes have a mind of their own and then don't quite work as much as what we want them to, but that's all right. They have 3 rounds. Only the best round counts for each team, and they had 2 practice rounds earlier today and yesterday, and those scores also help them see if their robot is up to scratch and on par with what they have programmed it to do. They have time then to also change the robot in terms of programming and building if they wish to do so between their rounds. The teams also have judging today, so teams are a little bit more stressed, but they are showing up and they still have some energy, which we like to see. They're also making friends with all the teams from across the world, and we like to see that friendly competition kicking in, which is one of the core values of the LL program. So we are still waiting for some tables to get ready, and then they will start their robots.
Table F.
E, F, G, H, are we ready?
Already, we're going to start.
So some cheering happening from the tables to say they're ready. And that's the start of the first official game. So there they're going out to collect samples and a coral, and they are successfully released the shock. That is points on the board for them. Robot comes back to base and they have the water sample and a coral. Those need to be on the board. The coral needs to be on the board in order to score points, and the water sample needs to be in the research vessel. The research vessel is the boat, and that needs to be pushed to the end. You can see the yellow robot, which is the SB Stars, just went to and tried to push the submersible. That is points for the other team if they got it right. It is closer to the other team. We will see if the other team pushes it back later. Gone back to base, putting on a new attachment, and the SB Stars are about to go off into their second mission model. The DSK Dussies lifting up the scuba diver. Will get it? Yes, they got it on the table, so they cannot hang it up somewhere else, but it is off. Quick mission change, attachments change, and they are off for their third mission run. They are off to push the research vessel. That must go all the way to the end of the table, and there's a little lever that must be in a circle. They can also put samples in there. Off to the other base with our team members collecting the robot to do another attachment change for the next mission. On SB Star's table, we've got see them trying to correct the coral at the coral structure, try to release the shark. Unfortunately, shark was not successful. Back to base. They are changing attachments again to go to the next, run their next mission with another arm. If we look at their DSK Dussies, they've got quite a long arm. We will see what they need to do. I think they're going to change the shipping lanes. No, they've collected the unexpected encounter. It must be on the table at the end of the game. Also collected krill. That krill must go be fed to whale. The whale is in the corner. They are on their way to the whale. Let's see if they're going to get it. They need to push the mouth open. Just missed the krill going into the mouth. On their way back, they're going to do the sonar. They need to move that to see both whales. Successful with half of it. Then they're going to, there's the shared mission model again that they're doing. The mission models, the submersible is now on the other team's side. They will get points if it stands like this at the end of the game. On SB Stars, doing the sonar and a last attempt to get some points on the game board, and didn't get that at 2-1, and that's the end of the first round. Teams will now be scored. Look like both teams got some points on the board, which we like to see. There's refs will now count all the points. some excited cheers coming from the DSK Dussies. You see some excited faces there as they get some points. All teams must take all their attachments with them, and in order to remember that they mustn't take mission models with them, otherwise the next teams have slight problems. So that was the SP Stars, DSK Dussies from South Africa. Coming up, we've got the Cape Town Ocean Outlaws and Frogmen. So we've got South Africa competing against the USA. Hopefully we will see which teams now get more points. Hopefully we can also give you an update on the points of each team. So once the refs have completed their scoring, they will reset the board in order for the next teams to come and compete. There are quite a number of mission models that they need to reset, and actually there are markings on the table for them to reset the mission models exactly the same way to make it fair for the next team.
Don't switch it on and off.
Okay.
But they keep copy stream.
Well, okay. All right.
Click, so just
Yeah. So we've got the next teams lined up for the second game of round one. We have the Cape Town Ocean Outlaws on the left, and on the right we've got the Frogmen. The Frogmen are from the United States of America, and the Cape Town Ocean Outlaws are from South Africa. Let's hope the robots behave themselves today and actually do the missions that we have programmed them to do. As you can see, teams are busy setting up, making sure that they can fit all the attachments and the robot in one of the bases under 30 centimeters, then they get more points. The borders here is quite an interesting board. It's nice and colorful, lots of things going on the board, all to do with the theme, and this theme this year is submerged, so that's everything about the ocean. Teams have to build the robot to complete these missions, and they have to do this all autonomously. So the robot needs to leave base and go and do a mission on the board, and then come back to base in order for the team to change it and not lose points. One of the refs also checking with the Frogmen to check the mission models are working correctly. These mission models are built with absolute precision to ensure fairness in all the games. There you can see the ref measuring. He measured to check that all attachments and the robot is under 30 centimeters. They will now unpack the attachments and line them up in the order that they would like, depending on which missions they're going to run and in what order. Quite a few of these attachments are quite interesting. There's ranging from small attachments to big attachments. Then also be motorized or passive attachments, depending on what the team would like. Some teams come up with these mission or these attachments completely on their own. Others use other teams' ideas and then build on those. It's all in the spirit of friendly competition, which is one of the core values of First Lego League. So we're checking now that all teams are ready. All teams are ready. There's 8 teams. Once they're all ready, then we will start a timer. 2.5 minutes in order to complete all the missions. Alright, so it looks like all the teams are now ready. We hopefully will start. And then they have 2.5 minutes with a time. There's quite a number of points on the board. 620 is what the total is that you can get on this board. The highest score so far was 595. And they are all for the second round, or the second game of round 1. So you can see the Frogman's robot left base going towards the sonar, successfully moving the sonar to see one whale. Collected also the plank sample, which they will put in the research vessel to get extra points. Collected krill along the way, and they will use to feed the whale. If you look at the ocean outlaws, they are also left base trying to release shark. It appears as if it has released the shark. That's on the board for them. Quick attachment change back in base. Back to the frogmen. I'll come back to the other base. They have collected one coral and another krill. The coral sample just needs to be on the table at the end of the match in order to get points. Quick attachment change, and they are off for their third mission run. They tried to collect the water sample there, unsuccessful. They tried to then correct the coral, not successful, but were successful with the shark, which is great. Then to collect the diver, unfortunately didn't get the diver, but that's okay. Robot is at least safely back in base now. They can touch it and put it on the attachment. Back to the Ocean Outlaws. Tried to collect the water purification, just got stuck. Unfortunately had to retrieve it, and that is one penalty on the board for them. Back in base in order to do a quick attachment change, and then they are out again. Going back to the Frogmen, they are back in base. Quick attachment change. Then we go back to the Ocean Outlaws. Try to do the same mission. At least it didn't get stuck this time, and it's back safely in base. They're going to again try and hit the mission model of the coral reef in order to put the garden up. Unsuccessful. They might run another mission. Back to the Frogmen. They successfully released the trident. Both parts of the trident are out. And that is points on the board. They put the shark and the coral on the board. That's more points. The shark is unfortunately not in the circle, so it's not full points yet. They need to go back and put it into the shark habitat in order to get points. This could have been a mission to get the shark on the other side. There they are taking the unexpected encounter to the cold seep, and they are successful with that. And they would try just to get the shared mission, which is a submersal. Unfortunately, the timer went off and they were able to complete that mission. But points on the board for both teams. Both teams did really well. Hopefully they reflect what they programmed the robot to do. Some cheers in the background from the teams that have done well on the board. Each team then takes their robot and their attachments, and then they still have another 2 rounds. The best round counts, so they have 3 rounds to show off their points, and that will be determined by the end of the day. The next teams that we have coming up are the Navy Sharks and Mine Factory. Navy Sharks come from Kazakhstan and Mine Factory from Switzerland. So the different teams, not a home team. Let's see what they've got. Lots of energy happening here at the Open Africa Championships held in Cape Town at the Cape Town International Convention Centre. Lots of energy. Teams are excited to be here, making friends with teams from right across the world, building friendships that will last a lifetime. And when they go to a competition, they will most likely see these teams again and just keep building on all these friendships that they have built. All right, so the teams that competed in the first one, so the SB Stars and the DSK Dussies, their points we have just gotten. The DSK Dussies scoring 385 points and the SB Stars scoring 105. Then the Cape Town Ocean Outlaws, we will see if we have their scores yet. Doesn't appear so. We will check back and see if they have their scores. Okay, Cape Town Ocean Outlaws have got a score of 105 points currently. We'll see if they can improve on that in the next one. And then the Frogmen, their points we will get through now. All right, so the Frogmen's score is 290 for the first official round. We're waiting for the teams to start. Mindfree from Switzerland is currently here, waiting for the Navy Sharks from Kazakhstan. Mine Factory setting up all their attachments. Looks like some serious attachments going on there. We will see if the robot behaves itself today. So there's lots of points you can score on sport, 620 to be exact. The highest score on all the tables currently is 530 from Mount Storms. Mount Storms come from Slovenia. Currently that's the highest score that we have on the boards. So with all the missions that you have here, the one mission model we have is the Coral Nursery. So all of these missions are inspired by the theme, which is ocean. All right, looks like we've got our teams on our tables and we're about to start with the second or third third game of round 1.
Sharks are not here at all. The Navy Sharks are not here at all. All right, Table T, are you ready now? Table C, are you ready? All right, Table A, ready? You're all ready to go.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, are we all ready? E, F, G, and H.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
And that's the start of the next game happening on tables G and H. So we've got the Navy Sharks from Kazakhstan and Mind Factory from Switzerland. They are both running their robot at the same time. Mind Factory's robot going out towards the whale, and looks like they are going to do the sonar, see if they're successful. Unfortunately not. Moving along, they go carry on the board in order to complete another mission model. They have lifted up the coral reef for points. Quick mission model or mission attachment change, and let's see if they carry on. Navy Sharks not having a robot on the board point. We've got Mind Factory busy on the board. Serious attachment changes between each mission run. Let's see where they are going to next. They're going to raise the mast, and they are successful. Underneath that, there is also a kraken which you can take treasure from to get extra points. Then they go on to the coral reef, which they successfully completed. And another attachment change to move to the next one came safely back to base so they could touch it in base. Serious looks on the faces of the teams of Mind Factory. They then went to the anglerfish in order to put it in. Another attachment change, and they will complete their next run. They're now moving the research vessel to the other side and trying to flip over the artificial habitat. They're successful with the artificial habitat as well. All yellow parts are on the table. And it appears as if the research vessel also has a sample in it, so that's extra points for them. Another mission model or attachment change going again, and they push the sonar. Then they're going to the whale to feed it with a krill, so they push it at the bottom in order to open the whale's mouth, and then it gets fed. Then they change the shipping lane successfully, more points on the board for them. And they've got 8 seconds left on the board. Let's see what they can do in this time. And they are just got points with the submersible and putting the unexpected counter on the board. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's in the seep. We will see once the points come out. But a good last effort in order to get points on the board, which we like to see. Sometimes it's those nail-biting final few seconds that gives you points on the board. Now the referees will confer with team and them between them in order to get the points and ensure that teams are accurate.
On table B, Yata Pretty from Spain. On table C from Turkey.
The next teams that we have coming up are the MANOSapiens from Germany and Invictus coming from Spain. It's amazing to see all the teams here. Every team has a different uniform on. Some of them bright pink, some of them different shade of pink. Then we've got red, we've got yellow, all the colors of the rainbow. but still lots of energy happening here. Some teams having a boombox with some music playing, others having some musical instruments, just to keep the vibe alive here in South Africa, in Cape Town, at the second international competition held on the African continent. Seems like some serious discussion happening between the referees and the Mind Factory team. Hopefully they get the points they need. Looks like they got 3 samples in the research vessel. They got the plankton sample and they got the water sample as well. Hopefully we can see these scores pretty soon to give you an update on the highest scores currently. Mount Storm still leading with the highest score for round 1, which is 530. Mount Storms comes from Slovenia. And there are other scores. The other scores are reasonably close. We've got 520 from Brotherhood. And hopefully these scores will just improve as the day goes on and more teams compete. Some excited smiles coming from Mind Factory. Some grateful sighs of relief as their robot seems to have done what it needed to do. We will check their scores as soon as it comes to us, and we'll give you an update of their score. Busy taking their attachments home so that they can come compete in their second and third round later on today. Mind Factory has just scored the highest points on the board. They are 600 points. No wonder their sighs of relief and looks of happiness, because this 600 puts them at the top currently of all the teams competing today. Top point that you can get is 620, so they are definitely there, which is a very good round. We're grateful to have seen that round live at the Open Africa Championships held in May in Cape Town. They look very happy, sighs of relief. Hopefully the next team shows us what they've got. Let's see if we can beat 600 points. The teams coming up now are MANOSapiens and Invictus. MANOSapiens coming from Germany, and then the Invictus team coming from Spain.
Table C, Table D,
All the teams are bringing their attachments, and it looks like they are having quite a moment for the MANOSapiens to arrange all the attachments in the area so that they can be under their 30 centimeters. Invictus also busy setting up their attachments, all in their base. So the mission model between the teams, which is the subversal, that's to encourage friendly competition and greater professionalism between the teams. Scored at the end of the round, the team that pushes it towards the other team gets points. And this mission is scored at the end, like I said. So if one team pushes it to the other team's side, and then another team comes and does the mission again at a later stage, the team that did it last will score the points. After each round, all the referees set the tables up again into the original order so that each team has a fair chance at competing. It's amazing to see so many supporters with each of the teams here. Shows that there is interest in all what the children are doing. Some supporters are parents, some are coaches, some are mentors, some are teachers from schools. A variety of people coming to support their teams. And with support comes cheering, and that just makes the whole place come alive with some energy, which is something we like to see at competitions. MANOSapiens just managing to put all their attachments into base, and the measurement is complete. Looks like they are under 30 centimeters. They will get those points. Invictus ready at their table with all their attachments neatly set up in order to run their missions as effectively as possible. They only have 2.5 minutes, so they need to do these missions quite accurately and do the attachment changes quite smoothly. MANOSapiens setting up all their attachments in order for them to also have a smooth run. 600 points is still my highest score for Mind Factory, which is an impressive score, which we like to see. Let's see if there's another team that can beat that score. 520 being the max. So just 20 points short of the full score that they can get. You will see some teams, the MANOSapiens have an attachment that they put on the side of the board in order to slip their attachments in. Quite innovative in order to have the attachments not on the board and in the way of the robot. Some teams also have starting blocks. Starting blocks are used to line the robots up in order for a more accurate mission run. Some teams also have sensors on their robots. The sensors can be color sensors, gyro sensors, and you also get touch sensors. Color sensors can detect these lines. If you look on the board, there are some white and black lines. This is used by the robot in order to line it up, making their missions more accurate in order to get points with every run. Looks like we are almost ready in order to start the next game. And that's almost a sound. That's a sound of excited teams ready to compete. And they are off for the next run, the first run. We see the MANOSapiens going out, collecting the samples, collecting krill and coral sample, plankton collected. Unfortunately dropped it, so it cannot go into the reached vessel. Back to the next base in order for attachment change. We have got Invictus going out. They are attempting to collect the sample as well. Successfully collected the plankton, coral, and other sample, and another coral collected, and the krill. The krill they will take to the whale in order to feed it in for points. Quick attachment change out of base. Then we can see on the MANOSapiens side, robots just left base, lifting up artificial habitat on the table. That's points. Yellow's touching the table. Back to the next base. Invictus. Another attachment change back base. Looks like they are headed to put the scuba diver on, which is in that arm. The diver needs to go to the coral reef in order to get points. So the seabed sample was successfully collected by both teams. MANOSapiens robot going out again. They have lifted the mast. They are going towards the coral sample, and they successfully lifted it up. The coral nursery, it's hanging. Then they just missed the diver, but that's all right. They released the shark. That's points on board for them. Completed the coral reef at least. That's points. Back to base. Next attachment on by Invictus. We see them loading the krill in that arm. That's in order to go and feed the whale. Let's see if they can get the other side of the board to feed the whale. Looks like they also might be pushing research vessel. MANOSapiens back to the other base. They are also on their way to go and feed the whale with krill in. The Invictus, they have moved the research vessel successfully with all the samples there. Then back to the next base. The MANOSapiens successfully feeding the whale with the krill. Back to base for a quick attachment change before this run is almost finished. Next, the Invictus goes to the unexpected encounter, excuse me. They've collected the unexpected encounter. It needs to be delivered to the cold sea with a circle on the mat in order to get points. The MANOSapiens seem to be stuck. They are not touching the robot, and they just lift up the submersible. Points on the board for them, delivering the unexpected encounters. Invictus just managing, just missing the sonar. Unfortunately, that's not points for them, but hopefully get points for the next round. But teams completing quite a variety of missions on this board, both lifting the mast, Unfortunately for Invictus, it flipped over, and the Kraken is shown there. So the Kraken has treasure in its mouth that you can also collect for extra points. All the referees now looking at the points. If we look at both of their boards, completed the mast, both of them fed the whale, the krill. Then the artificial habitat was only completed by the MANOSapiens, not by Invictus, but that is all right. Only one team has released the shark. Invictus did not release the shark, but they did collect a whole bunch of samples. They collected the water sample, and they also collected the seabed sample. Those are in the research vessel, and that has been successfully pushed to the other side. They also have both corals on the table, which is points for them. Once the referees have completed their scoring, we will be able to see their points, and we will see if they have beat 600 points by Mindtree. The next teams that we have coming up are TechExperts and Sesi Canaa. TechExperts come from Nigeria and Sesi coming from Brazil. We will see if they also get more points on board. It's very interesting to see how different teams come here and have different attachments for their robots. Some teams building bigger robots, other teams building smaller robots. And with the attachments also, some being quite extravagant attachments and others being small, but still managing to do quite a number of missions with minimal effort. Looks like they have finished the deliberations and they have been judged and scored. We will hopefully get the points soon. And we have the points for MANOSapiens. MANOSapiens gets 510 points. And then Invictus has 320. So still not beating Mind Factory, but having completed a very good round. 520 being a good score for these teams. The teams have done their first round. They still have another 2 rounds in order to show what their robot got. And hopefully, if their robot can score more points in these rounds, it will do so. But as we all know, robots have a mind of their own and sometimes don't quite listen to the programs that we ask them nicely to do.
On table C, from Serbia. On table D, Robot from Greece. On table E, Aquatech from Eswatini.
600 still being the highest score on the table. We will see if the next round of teams manage to score anything more. So it's 610 or 620 that they can get. Those are the highest scores that they can get. For some teams here, it's their first international competition, and it will hopefully not be their last. The friendships that they build here are important in life and will most likely last a lifetime. Some teams are more experienced, having competed in more than one international competition, but still showing humility whilst they are here competing against younger teams. And that's what we like to see at the first Lego League. The older teams helping, or the more experienced teams helping the more inexperienced teams in order to compete and do their best at these competitions. Friendly competition is very important at the first Lego League, as it's one of our core values that we embrace and embody as a whole. This is also shown in some of the teams' pit areas where they interact with other teams, and they will have to explain this to judges and one of the judging rooms. So what you see here is not the only component of this game. They have other things that they can also do. So the judging there's 2 parts or 3 parts of judging. With the judging, they've got to do a research project based on the theme, and then they also have to explain their robot in terms of mechanical and programming. So this is where they can show off their programming skills, because we know sometimes robots don't quite behave themselves and we just want to see the programming, because some are master programmers. So that's what we see in the judging rooms. Then they've got core values. Core values is like what I said earlier: gracious professionalism, cooperation, teamwork, fun. These are the core values of the first LEGO League. And these will be, their teams show the judges in the judging rooms how they embody all these core values. It's all very evident on the playing field and between pit areas if teams have good core values. And what I have seen so far at the Open African Championships is just that all teams have embraced these core values. Having fun, dancing, singing, interacting with other teams, showing that language is not actually a barrier in a common place. The common thing uniting all these teams is their love for robots and robotics and the ocean. Live Sesi having a lot of attachments on the board currently. Hopefully we will see what they all can do. Live Sesi and the TechExperts. TechExperts coming from Nigeria and Live Sesi coming from Brazil. All right, so we've started our next round, and we see that Live Sesi has already come back to base, completing some things on the board, and the TechExperts also having run one run already. Live Sesi releasing the shark, also doing coral support, successfully up on coral support. Didn't get the water sample, but we will see if they collect it at another round. Then we've got the TechExperts collecting the unexpected encounter. Are they going to do cold seep? No, not yet, maybe with another round. But also did the anglerfish, and they're back in base. Then we've got Live Sesi trying to hang the diver. Will they be successful? Yes, they are. Back in base for another attachment, and will be off for their next run. TechExperts moving off to the other side of the board in order to get the next base. The team can touch the robot in base, and then they can run it again. Some excited cheers coming from Live Sesi. They are collecting the unexpected encounter, which is good. They need to put it in the cold seep for points. Then they are for their next run. They are trying to flip the artificial habitat. Are they going to be successful? Yes, they are. All four things down. Back to TechExperts. They try to lift the mast there, unsuccessful. But that's all right. They still have time in order to get points on the board. Retrieving the robot back to base in order to run it again. Back to Live Sesi. They are collecting the coral, and back to base. The coral needs to be on the board for points. Krill collected successfully. Will they go feed the whale? We will find out. Then we've got the Live Sesi going to do the sonar. The sonar looks like it was successful from this angle. the tech expert attachment change off to the next run. Live Sesi just stopping the robot, probably ran the wrong program, but that's alright. Got a penalty, unfortunately, but that's alright. On their way to the shared mission, the submersal, and they are successful. They get those points on the board. 10 seconds on the board. What will they do now? Coral support just missed it. Back in base. Will take experts be able to run another mission? I don't think that, and that's time up. Unfortunately, no more points there. That's okay. Next round, they have 2 more rounds in order to be successful. As soon as the referees have scored, we will get their points. So as you can see, varied attachments on between these 2 teams. Live Sesi having big attachments and Tech Experts having smaller attachments. Attachment build is all up to the teams, depending on which missions you want. Quite some of these attachments do multiple missions at once, which is good. Sometimes it can cause problems if their robot stands still or there's an unexpected error, then they lose points. But with top teams that we have here, all the teams that we have here, that is less likely. Tech Experts doing quite a few missions on the board. They managed to kick the coral and the unexpected encounter. Unfortunately, unexpected encounter not in the cold seep, but it is back in base. Live Sesi having completed the artificial habitat, didn't move the research vessel with any samples, but did hang the coral, the diver, and completed the coral at the shared mission. Just as you can see there, they released the krill out of the whale, showing that they did feed the whales successfully. The teams that we have coming up next is Ocean Odyssey and RoboGen. RoboGen coming from Zimbabwe and Ocean Odyssey from Norway. That will be after 1 o'clock when the live streaming will resume of the games. We will see what points they get on the board. Some excited cheers coming from Live Sesi. Hopefully that means they got a good score on the tape. Tech Experts scoring 200 points for their first round. They will have another 2 rounds in order to show what they got. This is an improvement from their second practice rounds, which was 45 points. So whatever they did, it is good. Live Sesi having 565 points, which is a good score. Close to the top score, which is 600 by Mind Factory. So currently Live Sesi is in second place with the robot game, based on the scores that we have with us now, with the Mindtree still being first. And in third place we have the Mount Storms with 530.
not good English, but I see so. Nice break. And four.
All right, we are back for our next rounds. We are still on round one. Our next game is between RoboGen and Ocean Odyssey. RoboGen comes from Zimbabwe and Ocean Odyssey from Norway.
All right, we're going to check the tables. Table A, ready to go? All right, table B, not yet. Table C, are you ready to go? Table D, ready to go? All right, let me check. Table E, not yet. Table F, ready to go? Let me check. Table G, are you ready to go? Table G. Table H. All right. What?
All right, our next teams have lined up, busy on the tables, setting up their missions, their attachments, and their robots in order to complete the missions on the table. Again, 2.5 minutes they will have to complete as many missions as possible, and we are waiting for all teams to be ready in order to start. Looks like all the teams are ready, and we are starting in Lego. And the teams are off. We see the RoboGen leaving base, going to collect unexpected encounters successfully, and they're going to collect the krill in order to come back to base and then feed the whale at a later stage. We have then on the Ocean Odyssey side, robot still standing still. Hopefully we'll leave the base at a point. We've got RoboGen competing on their side, going back to their base. On the other side, successfully taking the krill and the unexpected encounter to the next base. Attaching a new attachment for the next run. And they are out of the base again. They are going towards the anglerfish and just missed it. From this side, it appears they've missed it. We will see when they get their points. Back to base successfully in order to run another mission. We see the Ocean Odyssey still busy on their side, and hopefully they will release their robot soon. Next, our RoboGen is going towards the coral reef structure where they're raising the mast. Maybe if they reverse. Nope, that is a penalty as they retrieve the robot. Ocean Odyssey's robot still in base. Hopefully they can sort out the problem. RoboGen on their side, we see that they have collect krill. We will see they will feed the whale at a later stage. They are going towards the next mission, which is, let's see what they do. And they are off towards the ocean encounter, which they've already collected. Try to deliver all those objects to the cold sea. Unfortunately, weren't successful. Lost their krill in the process. And they have also cannot feed the whale then. The coral is on the table, so there's at least points for that. Ocean Odyssey's robot still in base. RoboGen going towards the sonar. And will it be successful? It doesn't look like it was completely successful. And back to base. They have less than 15 seconds left for the next round. Almost done. Ocean Odyssey still coming out, finally out of their base. Unfortunately weren't able to complete any missions, but they still do have 2 rounds where they can get points. RoboGen scoring quite a number of points on the board. We know that they did get points for their coral. We will see what other points they can get. Excited cheers from teams around the competition as their robots have scored points on the board, and hopefully it is their highest scores. These are rounds that do count, so hopefully they have scored the points that they want. We will then get update on the scores and see who is in the lead. Currently it is still Mine Factory with 600 points coming from Switzerland, and then we've got Mount Storms, and they come from Slovenia, and we have Life Sesi Canaa, which comes from Brazil with 565, so they are in place. We can see they are debating between the referees and the RoboGen. Hopefully they get their points. The next teams that we have coming up is 705CN Pickering from Canada and Eagles Tech from Paraguay. Now, Eagles Tech had a very high scoring robot in practice rounds. Let's see if they can replicate that score now in the official rounds. From what I saw, they scored 590 and Eagles Tech scored 590 in a practice round. So let's hope that they can get that score in these live rounds. RoboGen scoring 140 points on board, and Odyssey, their score is not up yet. They scored 70 points on the board during this round. That is very likely, as teams do get points for running the robots, so they get 20 points for fitting everything in one of the bases. So they already start with 20 points, which is a good thing. The team then goes home with 0. Next up to run their robots, we have 4 more games before the end of round 1, and then we still have round 2 today. Tomorrow round 3 will be completed, and then there's also an alliance round. Alliance rounds are where 2 teams from different parts of the world compete with each other on the same board against another 2 teams from different parts of the world, completing the same missions that they have completed during their games. But this is also in order for teams to build a spirit of friendly competition and cooperation, because teams have to discuss which missions they want to run and which missions the other team must run. There are a few more rules that come into play with these rounds, but not a lot that change. Alright, so our teams that we've got here, 705CN Pickering and Eagles Tech. Eagles Tech is on the right hand side and 705CN Pickering is on the left. Let's see if they get some points on the board today. This is their first official round. Looks like the 705CN Pickering team has got some cheerleaders with them with pom-poms. Hopefully we can hear them scream for their robot, because robots also need some encouragement along the road. Eagles Tech also has their own mascot, a little eagle, supporting them today. Let's see if the eagle brings them good luck. Eagles Tech also having quite a number of attachments with them. Let's see how these attachments show up today. So only allowed to be for a maximum of 4 technicians at the table. The rest of the team supports from the sidelines. As you can see, there are 2 per base. That's in order that those are the rules. It's in order to ensure that there is not too many people at the table. 705CN Pickering also setting up all the attachments. Some serious attachments from both sides. Let's see what missions we can complete today with them. So most of these teams still might judging to go to, and that is on the robot and on their project, and then they will still have another 2 more robot runs. And as it becomes later and later and all the teams complete their judging, they come and support their friends that they have made during the competition. And then this is how the spirit in the competition just gradually builds throughout the day, and will most likely culminate tomorrow with the alliance rounds. After the last rounds, we have prize giving, where each team can have the opportunity to win an award. It looks like we're almost ready to start our missions, or our next round. 3, 2, 1, Lego, and that's the sound of the robots leaving their bases. We can see 705C and Pickering going to collect a Kurill, also collecting plankton sample, and going towards the submersion mission, and that's the shared mission. Not doing that one, going between. We can see Eagles Tech completing quite a few missions in one, collecting the plankton. They are going to collect also the seabed sample. Successful with that from what I can see. Collecting coral sample back to base. 705C and Pickering also back in base, collecting now the going to coral supports, lifting it. We will see if they are successful once their robot moves away. Or opportunity to collect the diver at this point, not available. Then we go back to the Eagles Tech. They just successfully released the shock and they're back to base. 705C and Pickering trying to raise the mast of the ship. Let's see if they are successful. Doesn't look like it at this point. And a penalty for retrieving back to base. Eagles Tech going back to base after having collected the ship and some samples. They're going also to raise the mast. They are successful with the mast. Also collecting the treasure underneath in the Kraken's mouth. Lining up on the wall, and they are off again back to base. Successfully hanging the diver as well. 705C and Pickering back in base, releasing again, and they are on their way to the angelfish. Did not complete that from what I can see. Eagles Tech collecting the trident, both pieces successfully, and back to base. 705C and Pickering retrieving the robot. We can see some energy coming from these teams. Eagles Tech going back, taking the research vessel with them, delivering it with some samples, and the artificial habitat is successfully flipped on the table. 705C and Pickering collecting the unexpected encounter back to base. They are less than 1 minute on the board. Let's see what they can do. Eagles Tech retrieving, and 705C and Pickering trying to live the krill. Unfortunately, the rail's mouth wasn't open. Eagles Tech also trying, and fortunately not. They then successfully completed the sonar, and so did 705C and Pickering. Oh, it's a battle between the two robots, and it is 705C and Pickering that will get those points just between, and finally that is the buzzer for the end of the game. 705C and Pickering just managing to get those last points just after Eagles Tech successfully had pushed the submersive onto 705 Pickering side. Now we will see what the scores will be.
From South Africa. On table B, the Aqua Innovators from Uganda. On table C, RoboNinjas.
The next teams that we have coming up are the Bryanston Outlaws from South Africa and Hanoi Academy from Vietnam. As soon as these scores are in, we will see what they have successfully managed to do. But from what I can see on the table, it looks like both teams completed a reasonable number of missions and will have many points on this board.
And on table A, Bryanston Ocean Outlaws. Get ready.
There are 3 rounds remaining, or 3 games remaining in round 1, and then we will have round 2 also today. Teams can then compete and improve on their score. If they do not find their round 1, if it is higher, that is the score that will count. We hope you're enjoying from wherever you are watching. It's nice to have an online audience. We know that not everybody was able to be here today in South Africa, so we are grateful that you are tuning in from wherever you are around the world. Thanks for making an effort. We are seeing that they're almost finished with the scoring of our 2 teams that we have here, PCN 705 C Pickering, and Eagles Tech. Let's see how many points they scored. 705C and Pickering scoring 330 points. And Eagles Tech, we're waiting for their points. We will wait and see how many points they get. Eagles Tech still waiting. But they are clapping, they are excited. Let's see what that means for them. Each team has a different highest score, and that's what makes this competition so special. Eagles Tech scoring 580 points. That's putting them very high in the lead. 600 still being the top points that has been achieved today. 580 close to being second, and they are actually second. So Eagles Tech second with 580 points, and Life Sesi now moves to third with 565. These can all change as the day progresses and tomorrow, depending on what the robots actually do. Next teams are lining up and coming to the board in order to complete their first round. We have the Bryanston Ocean Outlaws and the Hanoi Academy competing today. The Bryanston Ocean Outlaws hail from South Africa, so home, and Hanoi Academy coming from Vietnam. So a little bit overseas and local mix here. Hopefully they will be able to do the shared mission together. All supporters also supporting the teams, providing some of that much needed support that teams need in time when their robot decides it does not want to work.
So Jennifer, how are we doing over there?
So far so good. I have teams to make sure everything goes very well, and then we'll be hopefully ready to go in a minute.
When you say unexpected encounter, is that really like something?
Yeah, so that's that mission model there.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. That's the name of it.
Okay, one more minute for preparation. All set?
Alright, sorry for that. On table G, we have Let's Go Sendai from Japan and the Bryanston Ocean Outlaws on table H. They will be competing against each other, not the Hanoi Academy from Vietnam. They are on table A in the next round. Let's see what they have for us in store today. Let's Go Sendai from Japan have quite a number of attachments there, all neatly lined up on the side of the table. And the Bryanston Ocean Outlaws having their attachments also neatly arranged. So some of them have mission starting blocks. This is to help robots line up. Others have programs to help their robot line up against walls and use sensors in order to make the robot missions as accurate as possible. So we're just waiting for the teams on our side before we can start them off going and starting their first official round.
Table E, are we ready? Table F, are we ready?
And it sounds like they are about to start them off.
Table H, are we ready?
And we will confirm now. Yes, all teams are ready. 2, 1, let go. And that's the sound of the first game starting for these teams. We see the Let's Go Sendai attempting the coral support, successfully doing that and releasing the shark, then collecting the diver. They have collected some of the samples as well. That robot quite impressive with a whole bunch of missions being completed in one robot run, lifting the mast as well and collecting the treasure whilst that it is there. Then they move the research vessel to the other side. And will they complete the unexpected encounter? Yes, they will. They collect the unexpected encounter and take it back to base. Ocean Outlaws going towards the shared mission models, just lifting the lever on their side back to base. Let's Go Sendai changing their attachments after successfully coming back to base. They are off to collect the krill and used a bit of line there to line up. Unfortunately lost their robot and got a touch penalty. Ocean Outlaws completing the unexpected encounters and delivering it to the sea. Back in base to replace, and we can see the Let's Go Sendai quickly doing the artificial habitat successfully, and they are off to do another mission. The Ocean Outlaws coming back to base, attaching new attachments, and what will they complete? We don't know, we will see. Let's Go Sendai also in base, and both of the teams off at the same time. Let's Go Sendai going to the other side of the board. They are going to try and hang the coral reef diver, collect the sample, seabed sample collected, and the angelfish back. Bryanston Ocean Outlaws going out to the other side of the board, successfully releasing the shark. Will they make it back to base? We will find out now. What are they going to collect? We don't know. Attempting, there we go, they successfully did the coral sample, and they are on their way back to base. Let's Go Sendai busy with the other side of the board, successfully doing the whale. Unfortunately moved the changing ship lanes mission model, will not get points for that. Doing the sonars, getting points for that on the board, and they do the submersible. Ocean Outlaws just in the mast, and it falls back down. Didn't get points for that, but that's all right. Let's Go Sendai on the table, completing variety of models and with quite big attachments. And Bryanston Ocean Outlaws doing quite a few missions. You can see there an excited member from one of the teams. Some final scoring going on at these two tables before the next teams come up. The next teams that we have coming up are Cyber Tigers on table G, and on table H, Spongebob. Both these teams come from South Africa and competed in nationals together. Bryanston Ocean Outlaws saying that they are happy with the points means that we will be able to see the points in a short moment of time. Let's Go Sendai still debating their points. Some tense faces. Hopefully the robot did all that it needed to do.
Alright, teams. Get ready for the next game in 5 minutes. Once again,
Bryanston Ocean Outlaws scoring 250 points on the board for their first for their first official round. This is higher than any of the practice rounds, which is good. These are the rounds that count, so it is good that their robot did better than practice rounds. Seeing Let's Go Sendai leaving the table means their score will come up now. Their score is 440 points, which is a good score. Doesn't beat the top score, which is 100, but we know that they still have 2 rounds in order to make up the score. Two teams coming up now are the Cyber Tiger and Spongebob for the second last game of round 1.
In 5 minutes from now. Alright, teams, get ready. Once again, Table A, Hello Academy, are you there? Mechatronics from South Africa is here. We're waiting. Table C, we are waiting for Sub-Zero Innovators. Where are the Sub-Zero Innovators? Table C, please. Table D, Bright Force, FSTG from Nigeria. Your Sub-Zero Innovators, welcome. We will start in 1 minute, so please prepare. All right, Jennifer, how are we doing over there?
Teams are almost ready, but confirming table H, are we ready? Table G.
Table A. Table A, are you ready? Table B is ready. How's table A?
Table E.
A, table B, and C are ready. Jennifer, we are ready to go.
Just finalizing at table F. Table E, are we ready? Table F, are we ready? Table G, are we ready? Spongebob.
So it sounds like our tables are ready on our side. So we've got the Cyber Tigers and we have Spub, both coming from South Africa. Both like they have lots of energy. Cyber Tigers having quite a number of supporters on their side. And Lego, that's the sound of the buzzer going off. We will see what these teams can do. Cyber Tigers are still in base, with SpongeBob out of base, successfully lifting up the artificial habitat halfway, getting some points on the point. Cyber Tigers out of the base. They have lifted, they're getting the shot. No, they're doing the coral support, successful with that. Then we have the SpongeBob teams. They are releasing from base again. What will they do? Let's see what they will. Sonar. Yes, sonar is what they are doing and successfully completing that. Cyber Tigers on this side, releasing their robot again. Where will they be going? We don't know. We will find out. It looks like they're going to do the anglerfish. Yes. And the trident looks like they maybe got the trident. and they lifted up the artificial habitat and successfully got some points there. Back to the other base. Spongebob collecting the seabed sample and on their way to do the anglerfish and collect the water sample. Will they be successful? Yes, they are successful. Back in base for Spongebob. Cybertech is having completed the unexpected error, collecting it and back in base. Let's see if they'll be able to deliver it to the cold sea before the end of the game. Both putting a new on attachments and they are off. Cyber Tigers going towards the sonar. Will they be able to do it? And looks like they have krill in their mouth to feed the whale. Will they be successful? And it looks like they got one krill in, or creep in. They are on their way back to base. Same for Spongebob. They successfully collected the scuba diver. Will they be depositing the scuba diver on coral structure? We will see. Spongebob is out of the base again, lifting the mast. Yes, and the Cyber Tigers have done the shared mission model, releasing the submersible into the other team's area. They have completed the anglerfish almost successfully, retrieving the robot with some points that needed to be scored. Spongebob releasing the shark and hanging the scuba diver all in one mission and lifting up the coral support. Back in base in order to run the next mission. Quick attachment change and they are off. Cyber Tiger is still in base, now coming out of base. Spongebob taking back their robot, will get a penalty for that. Cyber Tiger is going to the mast. Will they lift it up in time? Unfortunately not. Spongebob staying in base for the last 2 seconds. No, they are out. Unfortunately not scoring any points there. From what it looks like both teams got some points on the board and were successful. Spongebob at least having hung the diver and releasing the shark. They have also released the unexpected encounter and they did not return the submersible, so it is on their side. Our team gets points. They did also lift up the artificial habitat, getting points for those lines that are on the board. Cyber Tigers, they have completed also quite a few missions on the board. They attempted the artificial habitat, unexpected encounters, and a variety of other ones on the table. The next teams that we have coming up are the Water Queens and Master Builders. These are the last two teams for round one, both coming from South Africa as well. So this is home ground, and they make South Africa proud there at the Open Africa Championships held at the TICC in Cape Town during this time, 7 to 9 May.
On table C, the Minions. On table D, Upper College of Ski. On table E, Snowstorms. Table F, Washington from Vietnam. On table D, the Queens. And the last of Builders, table H. Teams get ready for the last game of round one.
This will not yet. So this will not for table there. So I have to choose the one that's live and then actually they are staying there.
Cyber Tigers scoring a total of 370 points on the board during the first round, and Spongebob, they have scored. Let us wait for it to come in. Spongebob scoring 275 points. So that's team point on the board for each of these teams. Spongebob unfortunately scoring slightly less than the first practice round, but that shows that their second and third round has a place for improvement. They will get this. The Cyber Tigers, their round did well, or they did well in their round, and their points are higher than their practice round. Well, their first round was 375, so just missing out on those 5 points. But that is, in general, a very good score. Both new teams lining up at the board, which is the Water Queens and the Master Builders. Water Queens on the left and Master Builders on the right. Both teams from South Africa. This is our final game for round 1. And then we will have a second round today. Round 3 and Alliance round will be happening tomorrow. As the day has progressed, we have seen teams from different countries supporting each other on stage whilst the other one runs a robot. This is if we're not interfering with their judging, which is also an important component of this game, of this competition. Once all teams are ready, they will start the game for our last game of round 1. Looks like our two teams are ready on our side. They are counting down. 1, let go, and that's the sound of the final game of round 1. We see both teams coming out of the board. We see the Master Builders having changed the shipping lanes, and then the Water Queens pushing on the coral sample, and they try to collect the samples, unfortunately not. The Master Builders collecting the unexpected encounter, back to base for another attachment, and let's see where they will go. Hopefully taking the unexpected encounter to the cold deep. The Water Queens retrieving their robot, unfortunately getting a penalty for touching the robot as it was out of base. We see the Master Builders going towards the shared mission, and they are successful. The submersible is now on the Water Queen's side. The Water Queens collecting a coral sample back to base, and 1 creep. The Master Builders lining up against the wall, collecting the water sample, and back to base with that. They can put that in the research vessel and move it for point. They both back in base, Water Queens and Master Builders. Master Builder robot out of the game, out of the base, and they are successfully tried to lift up the diver, unsuccessful at that point, but that's alright. Water Queen successful with the unexpected encounter, and Master Builders getting the shark. Water Queens back in base, Master Builders also back in base, and Water Queens will be moving out of base now. They're going towards the, I don't know where they were going. Oh, they delivered the unexpected encounter in the cold seep. Successful with that. Master Builders successfully lifting up the mast of the ship and going on to another mission model, trying to collect the trident. Water Queens back in base. Let's see where they are going to next. Same with Master Builders back in base, readjustment. Water Queens moving out of base and on their way to the other side of the board, try and do the anglerfish, and then try to do them submersible. Unfortunately, not successful at this point. The Master Builders back in base, hopefully can run 1 mission before the start of the next, or before the end of this game. Water Queens out of base, and successful with the changing of the lanes of the ship. Their master builders lifting up their coral. Will they be able to hang it in time? Unfortunately not. That's been back in base, and that's the end of the last game of round 1. There are another 2 rounds that the teams can compete in, but that's the end of round 1 for the Open Africa Championship 2025, held in Cape Town at the CTICC from 7 to 9 May. Second event of this size, international caliber on the African continent, happening in the history of First Year League. First one being in Joburg in 2015, and we have now done this one in Cape Town in 25, almost 10 years later.
So plenty of chance on this event. If something went wrong in round 1, no worries. If something goes wrong in round 2, no worries.
Scoring busy happening for these teams before the refs will submit the scores and reset the boards for the next teams.
Don't forget tonight we go to the Two Oceans Aquarium. Where you get to
It's amazing to see the age ranges of the learners that are participating in the competition, ranging from 9 to 16, so quite a wide variety of ages that we have here. Teams also mix between different genders, different races, different religions, and that's the best that we can do at the First Lego League, is to encourage cooperation between all ages and religions and races. All right, so let's see what the points are. We have still waiting for them, but they will hopefully be coming out soon.
So on the big screen we can see the score so far from the first and second practice rounds. But this score, it doesn't count, it's just for the practice. The only scores that counts are round 1, 2, and 3, and the highest score will be important. Just the highest score. All right, guys, we'll have a small break. Take a rest. Good luck with all your judging sessions. Good with all your presentations. Have fun.
Master Builder scoring 300 points in that round, and we've got Water Queens waiting for their score. Water Queens scoring 200 points during this round. Good points for both of these teams. They have points now for round 1. They have a chance in round 2 and round 3 to improve the score. But it looks like in general most teams are happy with their scores that they've received during this round. And hopefully robots will just do better, slightly better in the next 2 rounds that are to come. All right, that's the end of our round 1 that we have now, and the next round will be starting at 15:10. So you're more than welcome to live stream again from class 3, and we will then be back for round 2 of Open Africa Championships robot game.